Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Klis Mike Drop. This will be our free agent edition here as we move into into the second week of March. And this podcast might be a little dated. We're doing this Tuesday morning. A lot of action happened both Sunday and Monday. You know, people ask me all the time, what do you do in the off season? And let me tell you, the busiest time I have as a reporter on for an NFL team, and this is any reporter that whose responsibility is to cover an NFL team, this is the busiest week. Monday, the first day, that tampering window is the busiest day of the year, and it's because of it's just so much chaos, so many balls going in the air at one time. There's a lot of long hours in the draft, which is probably the second busiest time for an NFL reporter, but that's more controlled. And, day one is not really that busy. It's one pick. There's a lot of excitement around that one pick, a lot of hype. You have to write your fair share of stories and report on TV your fair share about what a team might do with their first round pick. But still, that particular day, it's just one pick, and there's your story. But let's review what the Broncos did so far in free agency. This is where they made their biggest impact. So there's a decided 49ers contingent coming to the Rocky Mountains. The Broncos add safety Talanoa Hufanga and linebacker Dre Greenlaw. And they were both very good in 2022. Greenlaw was also good in 2023. Then he popped that Achilles in Super Bowl 58 against the Chiefs and tried to come back last year. And he played real well on a 12-6 slugfest against the Browns, or against the Rams, I should say. And then the next week, he popped a calf. So there's a real injury risk with Greenlaw. But the Broncos are confident he's healthy now. He passed their medical on what they saw. From what I understand, there's some protections in the agreement. It's a 3-year, 34. One person told me it was $34 million, another $35 million deal. But I think the guarantee is closer to $11 million. So that right there is because of injuries. So what happened here is the market just went crazy on inside linebackers. And it started with Zach Bond, who got $17 million to re-sign with the Eagles. You got $15 million a year for Nick Bolton with the Chiefs. $15 million a year with Jamie Sherwood to sign back with the Jets. Robert Spillane, another guy the Broncos were interested in, got $12.5 million, I do believe, with the Patriots. The Broncos were looking for someone who could run. There was a lot of buzz about Nick Bolton coming to the Broncos. As it turned out, the Broncos weren't interested in Bolton as much as some others because of the speed factor. They have Alex Singleton. Singleton is basically Nick Bolton in the Broncos' view. A great tackler. He is a sideline to sideline aggressive guy coming off ACL, but they wanted someone who could run with the tight ends that are so prominent in the NFL. And Greenlaw is one of those guys. Sherwood also had that type of speed to help out. And Hufanga, was a safety. Trevon Moehrig got $17 million to sign with Carolina, the former Raider safety. And Hufanga, because of the injury, probably closer to $12 million a year. We'll have to see when his contract comes out. So the Broncos kind of took the tack that the safety and the inside linebacker market was overinflated, and they got good value for guys who are better than them. Greenlaw, for instance, if Greenlaw is healthy, he's better than Zach Bond. If he's healthy, he's better than Bolton. He's better than Sherwood. He's better than Spillane. So that's what the Broncos are counting on right there. And, the Broncos are also counting on their fine training staff. The injuries have been way down. Bo Lowry, the director of sports performance and health, it's time for him to step up when it comes to this Broncos free agent class. That's how it came down on why the Broncos went with the two 49ers. And also the Broncos, the phone's going to be ringing, folks. Tis the season. They re-signed DJ Jones. And remember, 3 years ago, the Broncos signed DJ Jones away from the 49ers. They also got Mike McGlinchey a couple of years, the right tackle. So a lot of 49er flavor in that Broncos locker room this year. The Broncos also, DJ Jones surprised me a little bit because he got $13 million a year after he played out his 3-year, $30 million contract with the Broncos, $10 million a year. Not really a playmaker, but he's a space eater, a run blocker. He eats up the run blockers and lets other people's get the tackles. So DJ Jones gets $13 million a year. Stidham gets $12 million over 2 years, a raise from what he previously had. He previously worked on $5 million a year, didn't play a whole lot in those last 2 years with the Broncos, comes back for $6 million a year. So the thinking there is Sean Payton's system. Sean Payton wanted someone familiar with this system rather than a backup quarterback who had played some in 2024. I know the Broncos went back and forth on that. They decided familiarity with the Sean Payton system is why they wanted Stidham back. Fraboni, the long snapper, comes back, and Matt Pert, the backup offensive tackle, comes back. Who the Broncos lost? Riley Dixon. They wanted him back, the punter. He goes to Tampa Bay. They wanted Tremon Smith. He goes to Houston. The special teams gunner, they used to call that position. Kind of more appropriate to call it a flyer now. They also lose starting linebacker Cordy Barton to Tennessee. He got a nice deal, $3 and $21 million. Broncos didn't want him back. That's why they got Greenwell. Javonte Williams, and here's a salute to Javonte. Gave it his all 4 years as a number 2 pick, second-round pick for the Broncos in 2021. Just not the same since he had that ACL as a rusher. Still a terrific blocker. I think Javonte is going to be a real good third down back for the Cowboys going forward. And Zach Wilson, the number 3 quarterback. Zach, we hardly knew you. Looked good in training camp. Looked good in OTAs. Never saw the field. Never was activated. Listed as the number 3 emergency quarterback for all 18 games for the Broncos last year. One of the more interesting things that happened with the Broncos in the opening of free agency is they held a visit with even Ingram, the tight end from Jacksonville. Had 2 monster years with Jacksonville, especially 2023 when he had 114 catches for 960 yards. Broncos brought him in. Looked like when they brought him in that they were going to get the deal done. They started talking turkey and they didn't get the deal done. He went to Shanahan's with a bunch of Broncos staffers on Sunday night. Met all day with Sean Payton and all the coaches and staffers on Monday at Dove Valley. And he left the building. Still, as of Tuesday morning, as we talk to you right now, I would say it's 50-50. Ingram, no word yet on him moving on to another team for a visit. No word on whether the Broncos will look at Juwan Johnson as a possible backup. So that's as of Tuesday morning. Lastly, it's kind of balancing 2 things. There's free agency. The Broncos also have to get prepared for the draft. And running back, especially if they wound up with a tight end in free agency, running back is going to move to the forefront. Javonte Williams gone. They need a number 1. And they did meet at the Combine. They had a formal visit, 20-minute interview with Ashton Jeanty, the fine running back from Boise State. Don't think he'll be there at number 20 for the Broncos, but you can always hope. And let's hear to what Ashton Jeanty had to say about his formal visit with the Broncos during the NFL Combine a couple weeks ago.
I would hope I don't fall that far, but, if that happens, I wouldn't have no problem playing for the Denver Broncos. He actually wasn't in the meeting, but, I met with the running back coach and, some other people on the staff and, scouts. But it was really great. We broke down some tape and them sort of things and, talked about how they had a need for a running back.
Jeanty, I don't think would be there Maybe the Iowa running back, Caleb Johnson, would be someone. Omarion Hampton of North Carolina might be there at number 20. The Broncos also are holding top 30 visits. And what happens is they can bring in 30 draft eligible players for full day visits. And one of them that they're bringing in is Cam Miller, a quarterback from North Dakota State. Isn't that interesting? Miller, both a good athlete, broke a lot of North Dakota State's passing records. Of course, that's saying something. Carson Wentz, Trey Lance had all the records before. Ian Stick, who's been with the Chargers. So Cam Miller coming in with the Broncos. So that's it for this edition for Klis's Mike Drop. Thanks for paying attention. Follow me, by the way, on my X account at Mike Klis 9 News. It's a relatively new one. A lot of people still have my old one at Mike Klis. The one to go to is at Mike Klis 9 News. So thanks for listening in to Klis's Mike Drop. We'll do this again next week. Broncos move to get better. A little curious by all the medical free agents that they signed with Hufanga and Greenwell. But, if they're healthy and they do have a good training staff, strength and conditioning staff, if that happens, then the Broncos will have gotten some real good deals for some of these 49er players. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for tuning in.